One of the first keys into doing effective prayer is we need to recognize that God is God and that He is sovereign. And so, what that means for Him to be sovereign means that we need to recognize that He is the supreme ruler and that God has a plan. And so, with that, we need to understand that there is always, no matter what is going on, no matter what you see in the world, there is always a plan G, and that's God's plan. That God is in it and God sees what's going on. And I want to give you a couple of examples of that and to help you understand what I'm talking about. Many times we actually quote the passage in Jeremiah 29:11, the passage that says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." We quote that and we kind of claim this as our right, but we don't truly understand where this is coming from. And so I want to kind of really a lot of times what we're doing, we're seeing like the tip of the iceberg. And so I want to kind of take us underneath the iceberg a little bit and help us to see what this is all about and in the concept of again of helping us to trust God and know that God has a plan even in the difficult times. And so I'm going to start from verse 10 of Jeremiah 29 that says, "For thus saith the Lord, when 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will visit you, and I will fulfill to you my promise, and bring you back to this place. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord. I will restore your fortunes and gather you from all the nations and all the places where I have driven you, declares the Lord. And I will bring you back to the place from which I have sent you into exile." I want you to catch that last part. It says, "And I will bring you back to the place from which I sent you into exile." So it opens up in this passage that I just read with God saying, when 70 years have been completed in Babylon. You see, the children of Israel, they had rebelled against God. They had lost their focus. They started focusing on self and self-reliance and pagan worship and all types of things. And so with this, God saw the condition of their heart and how they were going down a path of destruction. And because God loved his people, he let them go into slavery. He put them in harm's way because he loved them. And it allowed the Babylonians to capture them and to keep them in captivity for 70 years. And God says, I've done this because I love you. And I have plans for you, plans to prosper you and for a hope and a future. That is why I have sent you into captivity. And then he says, in that time of captivity, that's going to be the time that wakes you up, that's going to stir you and realize the slumber that you've been in and make you desperate again, once again, for me. And once you become desperate for me once again and turn to me and start seeking me and start, turning your hearts to me and repenting, says, then when you turn back to me, I can bring you out of slavery. And I can be your God once again, and you can be my people. And so there's a purpose for this hardship, for this struggle that the Israelites were in.